Welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Open Great League and let's try to run this team here. We're going to be using the Shadow Feraligatr with the Shadow Drapion and the Shadow Tentacruel. We're going to switch out and see what they have for this Drapion. They are going to fire off a drill run here. We are going to show the first one just to preserve the health. Going to fire off a crunch. It's going to deal some good damage. We do not get the debuff, so our opponent is going to stay in. Another drill run does go through and it does take out our Drapion, so unfortunately this Dunsparce is causing a ton of problems right now. We're going to be able to get to this Hydro Cannon here to use a Threaten Shield or get the KO. Our opponent does elect to let it go. They must have another answer. They come back in with their Toxapex. Toxapex is going to have to get through our Feraligatr, which is going to just spam a ton of Hydro Cannons. We try to catch a move. Our opponent does switch out into the Gastrodon, and that is just hard counter right there. Unfortunately, unable to win this game. Gastrodon basically really good against our backline. The Dunsparce also pretty decent against our Feraligatr, so not much we can do here except for just let it play out. This Gastrodon running Earth Power would have been interesting against our backline for sure. They just had the right counters every step of the way. Alright, we got the core of Shadow Feraligatr and the Shadow Drapion, and then the Tentacruel is just kind of a generalist there. It is a water type as well, so in a way it could also be an ABA team, but if we're just looking at it from a grass weakness, we have two grass counters. We got the Gastrodon to come back out here. I'm surprised the last team didn't want to see Gastrodon go into the Drapion, but they played it well. But onto this game here, we are going to tank this Body Slam. We're going to force the Hydro Cannon here onto the Gastrodon. It's going to get the Shield War, get the KO. Decided to let it go. That's fine. We see the Jump Up come back in, so we're going to go into our Tentacruel. Tentacruel dealing a lot of fast move pressure here. We're going to show the first one ends up being the Energy Ball. We see the Dunsparce lurking in the back again. We're going to have to get a lot of debuffs here. One Skull does go through. We get the debuff, so that's one debuff answered. We're going to have to shield here because this Tentacruel is going to be the key to victory. Looks like they're going to be able to get to another drill run before we get to the move. We are tanking these quite well. We do get the farm down, which is really good. And now we're going to go for this Skull because we are running Sludge Wave. Our opponent does allow the first one to go through. We're trying to get another Skull off to get the debuff. Does grab that shield, and we're going to try to force some energy here. We do get the energy to come out. And then Arrow Ace does get revealed, and we're going to see, unfortunately unable to farm down. They're going to be able to get to another Arrow Ace pretty quickly. So GG's to our opponent, unable to come back from that situation. Let's make a little bit of an adjustment here. We need a little bit more bulk. We're going to fire off the Clogsire. Just too much squishiness with that triple Shadow team. Okay, we got the Shadow Feraligatr versus the Cresselia. This Cresselia here is taking some fast move pressure. They're going to get to a Grass Knot here. Oh, nice catch by our opponent. Ends up catching it onto the Azumarill. We chip away at the Azumarill, but we do have the Tentacruel for this Azumarill. So we're looking for a huge farm down. We can resist all of the moves. Ice Beam does get revealed, so most likely they're running Ice Beam, play rough, but it doesn't matter. We are just going to go for the full farm down and hope that this energy goes to use. Another Ice Beam does get revealed. We have 100 energy. At least we have 2 shields still. Our opponent does have the Cresselia come back in. We're going to fire out the Skull. Huge damage. We're going to fire off another Skull here right before they get to another move. This is going to get the Shield War. It's going to get the KO. They decided to let it go. And we see the Talonflame lurk in the back. So Talonflame here is going to struggle to farm down our Tentacruel without taking a move. Skull does get used. And then we're going to come back in here with the Feraligatr to force out some energy. We're going to shield here because we're very close to a move. So this is going to get that second shield. Okay, and then we should be able to come back in here with the Clogsire running Stone Edge. So all we have to do is survive enough Incinerates, and we are going to survive it easily. Firing off this Stone Edge will KO the Talonflame, and GG's to our opponent. Able to win that game with the Clogsire, with the shield at the end. Luckily, the Feraligatr was able to tank all that energy from that Talonflame. Okay, next game, we got the Shadow Feraligatr versus the Chestnut. Horrible matchup. We're going to switch into the Tentacruel here, and we see the Goodra. Goodra is going to apply the pressure. Potential Ice or Thunder Punch. Thunder Punch does get used. We are able to survive it, thankfully. We're going to go for the Sludge Wave. It does grab the shield. So, interesting call by our opponent. We're going to fire off this Hydro Cannon here. This Hydro Cannon is going to chip away at this Goodra, and we are able to get the farm now. Anticipating the Chestnut to come back in, we're going to go into our Clogsire, and we see the Dugong in the back. So Dugong here is going to have to extend shields early. So we're going to fire off this Stone Edge, and we do grab that shield. Our opponent is going to have to throw a ton of Icy Winds, so we're just going to have to double shield this situation. Apply a lot of pressure. They have no shields, so we can just go for these Stone Edges. However, it is debuff. We're going to need we'll definitely need 2 Stone Edges. They're going to go for another Icy Wind. We are going to be able to survive. We're going to switch out immediately here. And looks like we are going to get an energy head start. Our opponent does throw the Frenzy Blast, so now we know they're relatively energy dry. We're going to fire off the Ice Beam. This is going to KO the Chestnut. That's fantastic. And now we're going to get to another Hydro Cannon. Okay, we force out some energy from this Dugong. It has to be Drill Run. Okay, there's the Drill Run. And at this point, we are going to be stocked up on so much energy that this additional Stone Edge will KO the Dugong. So GG's to our opponent, able to come back from a horrible lead and able to take out the Dugong at the end right there with our combination of the Clogsire and the Feraligatr. All right, let's see if we can end off on a good note. We got the Shadow Feraligatr versus the Clogsire. Pretty decent situation right here. They are running Poison Sting, so we're going to be aware of the moves pretty quickly. They're going to fire off a Stone Edge. We can survive that easily. We're going to make sure we wait, and we do see the Feraligatr come back in. Feraligatr here is going to have to throw probably 2 Hydro Cannons. We're going to fire off a move here. This is going to get the shield, or it's going to get the good damage. We do grab a shield. We get the debuff. We're going to shield here. We're going to be applying a lot of fast move pressure. So much so that we're just going to double shield this situation, come out with some energy, and we're going to be able to throw some moves back at whatever comes back in. Looks like the Clogsire decides to come back in. We have a Scold, and Scold does get used. We're going to farm up a ton of energy, throw this Hydro Cannon on good timing. This is going to get the shield, we're going to get the KO. Decide to let it go, and now we have to deal with a Machamp in the back, but this Feraligatr has a ton of energy. 1 Hydro Cannon does get used to get that last shield. We're going to wait the timer here, just in case we need to catch potentially. And now we have the Clogsire onto the Machamp. Fantastic situation. They realize their fate. GG's to their opponent right there. So well played by us. Check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.